G'day folks, welcome to this playthrough of the last Blitzkrieg campaign. I've been playing around in the settings, trying to get the quality a bit higher. It should be pretty good now. I can select this at 1080p, so fingers crossed you can see this, and it looks okay. So fresh off the back of my playthrough of the southern campaign, I'm doing the full campaign now. But it's a big one. It's 4 maps. It's 16 turns, runs from the 16th to the 31st of December. So I'm going to give this a go via Vassal. Let's take a big overview. So yeah, this is. I'll quickly zoom out and show you everything. This is the whole map. You can see you've got 2 western maps, 2 eastern maps, and the Germans all lined up. Now I haven't played through the northern campaign yet, so I really don't know where to start. But I did see the Tabletop's Edge playthrough, and he did a nice little demonstration of how to attack around Schnee, Eifel, and isolate all these 106th Infantry Division guys, and I think that's a pretty good place to start. Germans, of course, have the initiative, and they get to basically choose what formation they want. So I'm thinking 18th Volksgrenadier. Let me know if you guys can see this okay, hear this okay. If you need it zoomed out, happy to do so. Show you other areas of the map. This is a great module. You see a little step indicator on these units. You can increase steps and decrease steps quite easily like that. Drop support like so. Apparently, so there's a movement trail marker. I don't know what that does, but we'll play around with it and see what happens. So I'm going to start with the 18th Volksgrenadier. And what they're going to try and do is knock out this unit here, drive along the secondary road and isolate all the 106 along this ridge. This is what I've seen done, so I know it's possible. So let's that we can highlight the whole formation. Isn't that nice? Let's double check their supply path first of all. So it runs along this trail at the start to their combat trains here. This is, of course, the first turn, the 16th, so the Germans get a +1 dice roll modifier to their snafu. I just wonder what sort of command range, all that, that's great. Show PD range. PD, prepared defense. Done mode, highlight formation, flip, place markers, look at that, it's all automated. Except for snafus. So we're going to flip these guys over, and I am going to make a roll for snafu. I'm just double checking there's no sort of automatic snafu roller. No. Okay, so let's work this out. Great, thanks Rob and Brian. So we have a snafu. I've got to get my charts, give me a moment. Actually, they're sitting right behind me, so this is going to be interesting. Making space for this on my tiny desk. Alright, 18th Volksgrenadier, first turn. Let's make a die roll, then we'll add the modifiers. It's a 6. Where is the snafu modifiers? They are fresh for +1, 7. They have gained specific +1 for 8. They're at optimal distance for 9. They are using tracks though, So it brings it down to 8. So that's a double objective. So let's... I don't need to highlight the formation anymore. Let's get some objectives. And we definitely want to place one there. Now I guess the question is... should I also place one down here as well in Bliaf? I'm going to push through here. We're going to drive along these roads with whatever is available. I've got this unit up here. This is the reconnaissance unit. They can set an additional objective. I can also put the fatigue and support counters in the HQ button. In the HQ. Oh yeah, I saw that. I noticed that all the... That's not it. Where is it? I did see all the headquarter cards like this. Yeah. For now, I'm going to leave them on the board because it's one of the reasons I'm moving to Vassal is because of the frustration with these counters being spread out all over the board. But as long as I can't knock them, it's okay. They're kind of locked in place. I can't bump the table and send these guys flying. So I'll leave them here for now. I'll reconsider that as I go along. I might shift to these great cards down the track. So I've got another... I'm going to clone that. Alright, double objective. Do I place both here and just really push down? Or do I attack here as well? This is going to be a really important combat. They've got a good AR. It's a dual unit. Yeah, that's going to help them in defense. Hey, Blue, welcome. So immediately I've got this difficult decision to make. If this attack fails, it kind of throws all my plans. It's so much rides on this one combat here. Whew, and there's basically it's infantry. What are these guys? They're 3-3. They could engage. I might do that. Try to engage this unit. This is I'll have a 6 to 5. It's gonna be a +1 modifier. If I keep them on that side, it's a 0 modifier. It'll be a +1 for the double objective zone. The 106, where's their headquarters? They're actually into prepared defense. It's really hard to see that marker there. 106 infantry. So that's going to be a +1 modifier for the US defenders as well. My infantry can move 8. So if I clear this unit out, 1, 2, well, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, they can wrap around Schnee Eiffel. So I'm gonna give that a go. All right, we're gonna. Although maybe I try with the infantry first, and if they fail, I can follow up with these guys. Because I like the potential for this unit to set additional objectives down the road, Bleaf. And if they're stopping here because of an engagement, or they succeed and they have to stop here because of an engagement, they can't set those additional objectives. So what I'm going to do is bring some of these guys up. They're going to go 1 to there. They're going to draw on these guys for support. Or assistance rather, and we're going to have a regular infantry attack. Keep in mind they have, I've got to keep in mind their support as well, they have limited support. So, is there an attack? No, there isn't. An attack calculator in the module. That's handy. So we have got a regular attack. The way I do this is I like to roll the dice first and then add my modifiers. So I've got a 6. I have red support in attack, so that's a +1, 7. It's a double objective zone for 8. It's I'll throw some artillery at that. Now, do I track my artillery somehow? Arty left. What does that mean? I think I'll just keep it in mind. Or do I... place markers. Oh, okay. So I can increase that to 4 to show that they've got the 3 intrinsic plus 2 attached, and the one they're spending here is 4. Where am I up to? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's not great. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 for their AR. Okay, 14. Minus the defenders, 4 is 10, they're dual, so 9. Prepared is 8. Okay, it's an 8, which is an A1. And A1. And a situational retreat, but they are, of course, in a prepared defense, so they'll stubbornly stand there. Let me double check that. First combat of this campaign, I want to make sure I get it all right. 6. It's not a duel, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I think I miscalculated. Down to 9, 8, 7, 6, in fact. So it's just an A1 result. I did miscalculate. Which is not a good start for the Germans. And of course only 1 regular attack. So now I've got to bring these guys down to finish the job, which is really frustrating. 1. They don't really want to... There's 2 choices here. Engagement or shock combat. I think engagement's probably a bit safer, because I could do 2 engagements and all I need is a both loss minimum. Oh, they are part of the... what am I doing? They're 14th Cav. Thanks, Blue. So they're not in a... Oh my goodness. Let's undo that and redo. Wow. Simple thing of reading their formation properly. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I was right the first time. Every time I count, it's wrong. 14 for the attacker. Minus 4 is 10. They're dual, so 9. 9. They're in a terrain hex. 8. So it is a provisional A1, which is no loss, and a situational retreat. But so they are not. The 14th Cav is not in a prepared defense, so they need to retreat 3 hexes. And well, they've got a couple of options here. Well, no, they don't really. They have to go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. They could retreat there. They've got 2 options. The woods up here, or the open hex here. They probably want to defend there. Okay. So then we get an attacker advance. And of course only assistance will increase their steps. Jeez. 1 combat, 3 different results. Yeah, I was looking at the wrong one as well, Brian. I was looking at here thinking it was 106. You've got all these 106 out here. I forgot that they were 40th Cav. They're still blocking that road though. But now, 1, 2. Maybe I'll do it properly, see what happens. 1. Now can I see their movement trail? Hey, look at that. Isn't that nice? And these guys, they'll come up 1, 2 and a half, and we'll launch an attack on the same unit. Same again, we'll roll the dice. Ouch. Well, they're actually now in the open. They're not in terrain anymore. So we've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for my support. It's not. No, wait. My apologies. It's not in an objective zone anymore. That marker was there. They've gone 1, 2, 3. It's outside that objective zone. This is where now we can bring on our reconnaissance unit. So they'll go 1, 2 and a half. I'm going to reconsider that. Going to try and give them that little bit of extra movement in case they succeed with this engagement. So you don't need a an objective marker for an engagement. So I'm going to go 1, 2 and a half, and they're going to force their first engagement here and see what happens, crossing their fingers. Yeah, that unit didn't take a loss, did it? Alright, so it's basically, it's not in an objective zone, they're not in a prepared defense, it's just, it's even actually. No, that's a fire loss and traffic. Okay, decrease steps, place a traffic marker. Which is basically a stopped marker, Alt Control 6. Well, there goes. Oh. There goes that plan down the drain. They're stopped there. They will have another engagement though. I did, yep, reduce their steps. Another engagement, 7. Okay, so that's going to be a both loss. Jeez, poor reconnaissance unit. Now they want to establish a new objective on that target. So recon creating objectives 3.3. So to conduct a recon, they must have at least one fire event to expend. They just spent both their fire events. That was a bit silly. Not to worry, I can still kind of move up maybe a fair bit. 1, 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can't attack there, but 1, 1.5, 2.5, sorry, 3.5, 4, 5. 5. From here, what I'm trying to do is cut off these guys. So where's the best way? Where are they going to try and go through? If I put them here, it cuts off this road here. They'll bounce between these zones of control. They could head up through here. There is a route, and it's along those trails. They go here, they've got to cross this stream, it'll be slow moving, but they can still get out. Maybe I put them there and force them to take the slow road across that stream there. Yeah, okay, that's a bit of a frustrating start, but we will press on with our other units. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to make it as difficult as possible. Oh, of course, so headquarters range 8. 1, 2, 3. That's all good. At the limits of my command range. I want to get more onto a better road, but so maybe I will think about an attack here. 1, 2, and we'll get an attack on this unit. These guys will attack with these guys in support. So the wall doesn't really help. Just double checking the rules. Can't find it, but I'm pretty sure I read that the wall defenses don't benefit the west wall, so it doesn't do anything for the Americans. It does for the Germans. It's key terrain for the Germans, but not for the Americans. For them, it is just they're using this wooded terrain, which will still help them nonetheless. Hey Sean, yeah, this is the first activation of the full campaign, and I've already made a dozen mistakes. Really clumsy mistakes. Getting used to the system, getting used to Vassal. Alright, so an attack here. Let's see how we go. An 11, this is good. Okay, so we've got 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, minus 2, 16, 16. They have 16 appropriate support, 16, 15, 14 prepared defense, 13 for their terrain. 13 is a good result. It's a D2 retreat. So 2 steps down and a retreat back to their HQ. They do have a safe. Where is their HQ? All the way over here. So 1, 2, they use their truck movement. So 1, 2. No, these guys must move their leg movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yes, they have a safe path. So they kind of zigzag their way through back to HQ. And I've kind of cleared that road now. So what that means is I can move my headquarters . 1, 2, 3, 4. And yeah, we'll get the 18th Volksgrenadier to use this secondary road as their main supply route. Move their things down. I might move their combat train. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Give them a nice clear path. Free of the 62nd Volksgrenadier. I will check their... Okay, that's too far. Let me just back them up. If I back up to there, it puts these guys out of command. I'd have to back up to here, 2 hexes back. That will put everyone in command if I stay there. 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'll put my train there for now. Okay, so I have almost surrounded the 106th Infantry on Schneeifel. See what these two guys. Kind of want to protect my headquarters, so I might just go like that, bring them back. Oh, you know what I've done? I just did an attack without an objective. Got so ambitious. This is just what I'm talking about. This was sort of speaking about earlier about how I just do these clumsy things. So that should not have happened because there's no objective marker there. Jeez. So let me try and roll for fatigue first of all. They are fatigued. Let me try and roll for a second activation to see if they get that. 4 or more. They do. So I will roll for their snafu on the second activation. 6, 7 for the game specific. I think they're at 7, so they get a double. And I'm going to put 1 here where I actually attacked to make that legal. And I will put the other one here to again put pressure on these guys. And that should be cleaned up. Jeez. So yeah, here we go. More clumsy little mistakes. So if we treat that attack as part of the second activation, otherwise I would have undone it all. But yeah, we can do that. It wasn't a double objective, so I didn't count the double objective modifier. And now, I'd like to do the same again, get the infantry to attack first. So... Or alternatively, I could try and break across the Ur River here. If I can hit those engineers instead. And do an engagement here. I might try and do that. I'll do an engagement here. Oh well, I've got to set my objectives. And yeah, I think I'll set Schomberg as my second objective. So that means I'll do the engagement first, see what happens here. So no modifiers, just hoping for a 6 or more. Hey, it's an 8, which is a both loss, so they go to the graveyard. These guys take another loss. They're down to 1 with 1 fire action left. Now they... What can they do? They could move down here and set this as an objective. Or they could try to do another engagement in the center here. They can't cross the Ur River. They could move up here, hit the 14th Cav up there. It's the second engagement, which would enable the infantry to move across the river. There's some light Cav there, hidden with the headquarters. Just thinking about long-term options. It'd be nice to clear this 106 out from Blealf, and so that's what I think I might do. So you're going to come down here. 1, 2, 3, 4. They still have a fire fire event left. They're not stopped. That doesn't contain an objective yet. So they expend 1 fire event, roll a die, compare the result with their action rating. If they roll less than or equal to that, they place an objective marker. So it's only a 50% chance of this actually happening. Let's give it a go. Hey, it failed. But they're there. That's their fire event. They could... Now, if these guys, let's say that they assist, and these guys launch a... actually, if they launch a regular attack with support assistance from the infantry, that might be better. Because if he's 2 fire events, but they can still do a regular attack, because they're dual capable. So let's do that. No, I can't, because there's no objective there, because they failed. So we'll pack up this infantry, and I'll go 1.5, and they will, I'm just wondering, do they attack by themselves? What are we looking at here? It's a little village, which provides defensive benefit. First of all, yeah, they're out of command, so I've got to move the headquarters up before I do any of that. So let's move all of these guys. 1, 2, 2.5, 3. Moving the headquarters right to the front, basically. They'll follow up later. That combat train won't move, so I'll leave that unghosted. And so I've got 3. These guys here are available, but they're a bit far behind. Is it dangerous to leave these guys sort of alone there? They probably is, isn't it? So I'll come down, I'll go 1, 2. These guys will go 1, 2, 3. That doesn't really lock in the ZOCs, does it? If I do that, they're locked in. I think I'm being way too ambitious here. 1, 2, 3. That locks these guys into zones of control. They will get a second. Well, actually, I don't know. I don't know what they'll need to activate. 0 fatigue. I think there's a -2 modifier. I think I'm being too ambitious with these headquarters. They want to get close enough to... over there. They need to be 1 hex closer, basically. So if I move these guys up, puts everyone in command. And I think that'll do. So that kind of locks... They have a zone of control out here. They could pursue if they want. But they're not going to be heading southeast. These guys are wanting to retreat to the northwest. Oh, yeah, zone control there. There is a... They can kind of move out through this way. And I can lock that if I just move back 1 space to... Well, 2 spaces to there. So now they can't move... Or they could move up here. But they can't go far. So we'll do that just to lock these troops in. It's probably safer than trying to push across the river at this stage. I still get an attack up here. It's a 6, 7, 8, 9... I'll get rid of that because I'm not really using it. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 for my artillery, 12 for my red support, versus there 1, so down to 11, 10, 9, 8. That's not bad for the engineers. It's an A1 situational. So decrease steps there and decrease steps there because they're in a prepared defense. They'll hold their ground. Okay, so not the best opening move for the Germans. Took a long time. That's almost a half-hour activation with the stuff ups that I've made. So that's one. I've probably made some other errors here as well. But so what have they done? They have isolated the 106th on Schnee Eifel. They haven't quite cleared a road across the Ur River. They haven't captured Blaev or Schonberg, nor up here nor there. That's a potential. They did have that. They did have the potential to do that, but yeah, that's what they've done. And now fatigue for their second activation is increased, so they're already ramping up their fatigue, and that's their second. So the headquarters is done. Enter done mode. There we go. They are done. And there is a little chart that I saw for tracking these activations. So what was that? That was the 18th Volksgrenadier. Here they are. I don't exactly know how you use these in Vassal, but they're done. Flip it, maybe? There we go. That's probably a good way to track it. Let me see what's left. So now what are the Americans going to do? And keeping in mind they've got a lot of is it done or used? Sort of formations that have been spent once, they can activate again. Yeah, it's a big front, basically. There's a lot to consider. If I highlight their headquarters, I don't know if you can see all that, but there's a lot. And geez, it's hard to know at this stage what's going to be most critical. We're trapped on Schnee Eifel now. But holding the river still. So I don't see this as necessarily an urgent activation. Can I read the German player's mind and figure out what he's going to do next? Where's the key? Where's the key road? Surely this is a dangerous area, right? Around Bullingen, if they can clear this road here, it gives them that drive west to Malmedy. This area here, that's important. 14th Cav is really close to 3rd Volksgrenadier. They could just pull out. Let's scroll down a bit. Look at more of the 106th. They really are spread out. See, if I activate them early, a lot of these guys are going to have to pull back. They will suffer attrition, and I'll kind of lose that defensive front. They'll all retreat to the northwest. I don't know if I want that early. I think I want to activate the 106th late in the turn. If pros and cons, if they activate it early, they can pull back out of there and retreat. Cons, if they activate early, they're pulling back out of there and they're retreating and opening potentially some gaps. So let's say the 60. Let's do some hypotheticals. If the 62nd activates next, they'll be looking to clear this road and this road. 116th activate, they'll be looking to clear these roads. Uren Bridge there. If we look north, if the 3rd activate, it's not going to affect the 106th. So the only thing the 106th need to worry about really is the 62nd and the 116th, and it's not a. What are they going to do? They have to butt their heads straight into these battalions along the front. So I'm not overly worried about that. So I'm going to hold the 606th. Down here around Clairvaux, I did. This is where I ran into trouble. 112th, 28th are in a difficult position. I mean, this is a very low two-step unit, so maybe I'll activate these guys and get them out of there. Yeah, there's not a lot of these guys. They're in a prepared defense as well. They're not. We've got these guys that just in the middle of nowhere. They could set up somewhere better. In fact, they could move down to Heinescheid, or across the river here. Let's do these guys. So, well, first we don't get to do them. We have to check if they get a second activation. They need a 4 or more. Yes, they get a second activation. What this means is that I can't select the headquarters. Oh, I think this was one of the. Okay. Not command range, but activate the formation. So only a couple of units here. But they start in not great positions. Now, these guys out here, 1st Battalion, they could move 1 hex forward into better defensive terrain or 1 hex back. If they move 1 hex forward, it's going to frustrate the 116th, but almost sacrifice themselves. If they pull 1 hex back, it's going to make the 106th a little bit more vulnerable. What's the alternative? I could give up the east side of the river and just pull west of the Ur. Just double checking. Yeah. So that might be a better way to go about it, just to pull back west and defend along the river. I could move these guys. This is a partial activation because they're in a prepared defense as well. So they only get 2 movement points. But I could go something like 1, 2 there and exert this zone of control. They have an AV support, so yeah, exert this AV zone of control across that bridge, which is going to be really, really frustrating for the 560th. A little bit of a sacrifice, but good on you guys. We'll keep the medals back at Bastogne for you. As the headquarters was up. So these guys don't get an activation. They're done. Thanks, Blue. They're done. They don't get anything at all. So I can give up that dream. So who's used? Who is... Okay. So they're done. They can't be used. They're used, but get a chance at a second activation because they're flipped. Got it. Oh. Thanks, Blue. You guys are saving me from so many silly mistakes. Well, you're not saving me. I'm making the silly mistakes and you're just pointing out and laughing at me. Okay, well. CCR 9. These are the guys that kind of got stuck when I did the Southern campaign. We can get them somewhere really important. I don't know where. Maybe they're my reserve. It's a CCR. I'll hold them in reserve. I don't know what to do. It's too early to activate the 106th. 14th Cav, what can they do? Flip over to their... Well, they're doing okay. They're got nothing to worry about right now. Or do they? Maybe I'll activate these guys. because I know 3rd Volksgrenadier is going to activate and they're going to do something here, and then 12th Volksgrenadier are going to activate and they're going to do something. So let's get these guys, see if they get a second activation. Let's roll. They do. So we can second activation for these guys. What are we going to do? They need to. I think that's a dual unit. They're okay. I could. So these guys defend better out in the open. An AV, no, not necessarily them, but a hard. These guys will certainly defend better out in the open. A hard red AV unit in an open hex will add a +2 dice roll modifier. So can I put the 14th Cav units together to sort of create a more solid defense somewhere out in the open here, maybe around Manderfield, not moving too far, but just like on these crossroads here. If they pull back and they go, this is open terrain which costs tack 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I do that, they've only got 1 step, I recognise that, but this is a very decent, respectable American defensive stack. 2 units stacked together, which will give me a +1 modifier. The other option is just to get the heck out of here, but they don't really know where they're getting the heck out of 2 yet. So 1, 2. I don't know where that moved. 1, 2. They're drawing their supply across here. Oh, I didn't do a snafu roll either. Okay, snafu for these guys. 6. It's going to be partial. Yep. 1, 2. They'll just pull their headquarters back a little bit. 1, 2. Maybe even a little bit further back. And maybe we'll just defend on the safe side of the river. Reverse. That seems a little bit better than Andler. Andler, it's still open terrain. So that plus... I don't actually, because it's a dual unit. Dual units, they're not hard red, basically. That seems decent. 14th Cav in that area. Are there any other 14th Cav units? No. So you can see they're drawing supply along this track to their train. They are done. There was no objective, but that's their second activation, so fatigue is fine. That's the 3rd 6 in a row, right? That's the 4th 6 in a row. And it's the 5th 6 out of the last 6 rolls. And another 6. That's a lot of 6s. Alright, so we have done with these guys. Done mode. Okay, 2 formations down. 50 minutes in. Vassal is nice for making sure I don't bump stacks all over the place. It's keeping these kind of things really easy to move. Gets rid of the sort of fumbly fingers problem, but it seems to be slower. Or maybe I'm just slower because it's such a big campaign. All right, let's keep our focus in this area. Once I kind of get sort of going somewhere, I like to keep it going. And I'm looking around here. Now, what is this bridge? The overpass. Okay. I'm thinking maybe 12th Volksgrenadier, maybe 3rd Volksgrenadier. They've got really low ARs. I need some kind of heavy hitters to push through 14th. I don't want to push through 14th Cav, basically. I'm going to go around them. I'm going to try and push through here, I think, and here in particular. So maybe I'll activate the 12th Volksgrenadier. Let's just highlight their formation. A couple of small, a little recon unit here. Let's activate these guys. So Snafu 7. That's going to be a double. Did I delete my objectives from earlier? I think I did. So we'll create some new ones. Can I please have some objectives? Alt Control 2. Alright, double objective. If I put them both here, it puts all these infantry in that objective range. But this is the most important hex. There's nothing really you can do. You can't bring a magic dice to roll in that hex. So 1, 2. Actually, sorry. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'll hold these guys back. These guys will go 1, 2, 3. Just double checking the terrain costs for woods is 1 for a leg. Yep. And what do we got here? Bicycle. How far can you guys go without your bicycles? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, they can make it. So if they go for bikes and go 1, go around that broken pass there, 2, 3, and then back on the road, 4. We'll get them on the bottom with these guys leading the attack to make a regular attack on this double objective area here. Pretty important. This is the one attack, because if this goes well, I've got a clear road through to Bullingen. It could be there. Could be there quickly. Alright, this is where I need those 6. I've rolled so many 6s in a row. That's okay. That's respectable. 8 plus 4 is 12. It's a double objective, so 13 with artillery, 14, 15, assistance 16. And the Americans have got 16. Minus 3 is 13. Who am I looking at here? 99th. Prepared defense. So 13, 12, 11 for the terrain, 10 for their support. Gives me an A1 situational. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough with that prepared defense. So basically, decrease step, decrease step. Jeez, how do you break through here on the first turn? I don't know. 1, 2. That throws a spanner in the works. I'll try the northern hex. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stack them together. Do another attack here. Another 8, which should be the exact same result. No other modifiers. That's another A1. And an A1 there. I could have used, I could have done, I thought about that. I could have used them. But it's just going to give me the plus. It added what I was hoping to do was use these guys. Well, I don't know what I was thinking. I need a retreat result, basically. And then I was hoping to maybe drive through and set up a new objective at Bullingen. Got a bit greedy. Dropping the support would basically only drop 1 modifier. Push those 8s up to a 9, I think, which still wouldn't cause a retreat. I'm looking at this road network here now, see what these guys can do. They can go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. They can't do much. I'm looking at the 14th Cav, thinking, is it worth it? 1, 2, 3, 4. They won't be able to make it anyway. What I could do is put them in place, maybe to help out with a, if we get a second. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Move those guys along as well. That bridge is not open, so they're going 1, 2, 3, 4 into here. So I've used 2 artillery, and I've got 4 left. I've got these guys who could set another objective. Well, they could come down here and do some shock combat. I can engage this hex in shock combat. I just can't do 2 regular attacks in the same turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They could make it all the way down here. And maybe having a go at an engagement against that 14th Cav. If I can clear that road out, maybe it opens some options. So let's try that. I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to get around that thing. 7, 8. That's 8. Gonna keep that in mind. Now I'm thinking engagement. There's also the possibility I can't do. Yeah, has to be engagement. All right, so an engagement we go. What do we got going on for us? It's not a double objective zone. They don't have a prepared defense. They don't have multiple supports nor non-support. So it's just basically my 6 versus their 6. Ouch. But they've only got 1 step. So, hey, we both take a step loss. I'll take that and send them to the graveyard. I'm burning through my, what are they, VOR units? That's 1 engagement. Now I've got a +1 modifier. Or I could do shock combat. No, I can't do shock combat. Because that requires an objective. But I can set an objective with these guys. But that requires them to spend their last objective marker, and there's no other infantry that can make it down here. So let us engage. Here we go. 10. Hey, we get a target loss and retreat result. Take that, 14th Cav, and they'll go 1, 2. They want to move towards their headquarters. So 1, 2, 3. They'll double stack, I guess. They're on the bottom, so they don't die. And then they're stopped because that's 2 fire actions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, they could do that. Right, now let's mount these guys up and go 1, 2. I don't want to mix them with the. I did mix them with the 3rd Volksgrenadier, didn't I? Can they reach that hex? 1, 2.5, 3, 4.5, 5, 6.5, 7. Yeah, they could reach there without mixing with the 3rd Volksgrenadier. So I'll just modify their advance. So these guys will go 1.5, 2.5, 2.5, 3.5. Sorry, 3.5, 4.5, 5. So I don't have to count in halves. 6, 7, 8. And before I do that, I will move my headquarters up. 1, 2, 3 to there. These guys will try and get to somewhere similar, so just trying to push through to Bullingen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and we're done. Now we did some regular combat, so let's check for fatigue. No fatigue. Let's check for a second activation. 4 or more. No. They're done. Okay, well, so had I secured a second activation, I'm pretty confident we could have marched on Bullingen. Would have been tough with that infantry. Okay. We can get rid of that. Thank you. I've got to remember the hotkeys for this. So, might do one more activation. One more American activation. And I think it has to be now the 99th Infantry, because if they don't, 3rd Volksgrenadier can march through here. So I think I've got to activate these guys. We'll get rid of those. So where is the 99th? They're so they're also in a difficult position, because if I activate them early, I'm going to have to do it. So they've been used, but they're not done. So they get a second activation of 5 or more. They do get a second activation. And their snafu roll is 6. It's going to be a partial. I don't think I really want to attack. What I want to do is get this infantry just to block this road to Bullingen a little bit. Just a little bit. How though? They're in a really good position here. If I just go 1, 2, it creates some difficulties around Honsfeld, and these guys will take their place in the line. So all I've done is sort of shifted the line back a bit. They're pretty happy there. How else are things here? I could create a better defensive position if I pull these both back. So these two tracks converge here. And this is marsh, which takes all their leg movement, and it's prohibited for tack and truck. So kind of what I'm thinking here is, if I just pull back here like that, creates a nice double stacked hex there, consolidates my effort, +1 modifier. It's not much, but I think it can often be the difference. And I'm just going to push these engineers 1 hex forward to create a Zoc block here, basically. A Zoc block. A lot of 99th up here as well. I might move these guys down a hex. There's a lot up there and they don't need to be there. Partial. So they've got to stop there. Yeah. And that's it, really. They didn't do a great deal, but fatigue. Fatigue on a second activation, it's 1 to 2, I think. Engagement table or attacks. That's not as good as my fatigue table. Second activation 1 to 2. Yep, so I'm safe. So it should have been this one. So no fatigue increase, and they're done. Alright. Okay. So we've had 2 German, 2 US activations. It's taken a little over an hour. So that's on my average of 15. Some of them go fast, some of them go slow. I'm kind of thinking that the Americans have got the bulk of the luck here. Yeah, it's not great for the 106th here, but it's not great for the Germans. They didn't do a great deal. They've kind of isolated them, but and then some problems here for the 12th Volksgrenadier. 99th activated and conveniently just reformed their line, blocking some major roads. There are no open roads for the Germans at this stage. And yeah, they're giving the Americans some opportunities to form even more solid defences. So yeah, folks, there you go. Going to finish it off here. Thank you, everyone. I like this vassal implementation. It's very neat and convenient. So I'm going to continue with this playthrough. Take care all, and I'll catch you all later.